All right, so we're up against Team Metagame Gurus in some shape or form. This is another great hand. Turn 2 Alchemist, turn 3 Fevered Visions. It's like pretty decent. We're up against a serious aggro deck, though. This could be bad. And that's not really what we wanted to see. So not only is this bad for us because our opponent's getting in underneath our Fevered Visions, it is also bad because it's just a good, clean way for our opponent to, discard his hand if he doesn't want to have Fevered Visions deal a lot of damage to him. And this deck would probably be able to kill our Thermo-Alchemist if we play it as a blocker. Because there's probably there's probably some combination of Fire Tempers, Incendiary Flows, and Unlicensed Disintegrations. So man, there's just not really a good way to play this. Normally, if you want to play the controlling route, we would want to play the Fevered Visions first. Or the Thermo-Alchemist. But I feel like we kind of need to use a removal spell. Oh man, this is bad. So if I go for the removal spells, like if I play like an Incendiary Flow on the Bomat Courier this turn and a Incendiary Flow on the Scrap Heap Scrounger next turn, I'm always going to be, well, it's going to take a while for me to catch up from being behind. Basically going to be just hoping that my opponent floods out. And even then, I'm going to take a lot of damage. And I'm hoping that he floods out before I do. I think I'm going to have to make this a Fevered Visions game. I think that's the only way I can really do anything. So I'm going to get rid of that Scrounger, and then I'm going to play Fevered Visions. And I'm just going to hope and pray, basically. Seems like a bad strategy, though. Yeah, 2 spells on that turn. Super rough. Dude, this looks so bad. There's no way I can just 1-for-1 down all of his stuff. This Fevered Visions is like a Hail Mary. It's like, there's a good chance that I'm just going to lose because of this card, but I also feel like it's my only path to victory. Like, I feel like there's just no way I 1-for-1 my opponent into a victory. Not with like these Bomat Couriers and Copters already on the board. At least by doing it this way, like, granted my opponent's going to be able to play out his stuff fast enough so that Fevered Visions isn't really going to do much damage. But at least it accelerates my game plan. And it makes sacrificing these Bomat Couriers for cards a little bit more, risky. At least there's some cost to doing so. maybe if I can start, blocking these Bomat couriers on the ground and having a Thermo-Alchemist shoot my opponent, I can get something done, but it seems unlikely. I feel like this game is mostly lost. My opponent most certainly has a removal spell. Oh yeah. And I take 3 damage. No big deal. No big deal at all. My opponent's playing 1 mana creatures while I'm playing 2 and 3 mana removal spells. And this means that the next Unlicensed Disintegration is lethal. So it's almost like I can't even play a creature, otherwise I'll just die. But how am I supposed to win without playing a creature? I really want to save this Incendiary Flow for a Scrap Heap Scrounger. I think I'm just going to play this Thermo-Alchemist, Fiery Temper, this Smuggler's Copter, and just hope for a miracle. That is unlikely to happen. And that'll do it. That's game. Alright. So you can just make it so my Thermo-Alchemist can't block. Which I assume is what he's going to do. Yeah, we're done. Okay, next game. So, I think I need the Lightning Axes and the Nahiri's Wrath because it's my only good way to catch up. These Fever Divisions seem not good in this matchup. Don't think I want Unsubstantiate either. Bedlam Revelers seem good. And I think I'm going to trim a Tormenting Voice since I have the Revelers. I don't think I really actually. I wonder if there's anything more controlling that I could do. I guess maybe the Jace. I mean, I need a source of card advantage to win long games, so I think I basically have my deck is set up so I have all of these 1-for-1s, and then the Reveler, Chandra, Jace are is the top end that's gonna help me attrition out my opponent. Doesn't seem like a particularly great plan, though. This hand has no blue mana, which is a problem. But it doesn't have any blue spells, so at least there's that. This could be a pretty decent start. What I don't want to see is a Scrap Heap Scrounger. Or a Smuggler's Copter. Ugh. Seems pretty bad. Oh, really want to ignore this creature. I also don't want to discard any of the cards that I have to a Lightning Axe currently. But this loss of life could prove to be fatal. Jeez. Really don't want to do this, but it seems so bad for me not to. Now I really wish I had just done this on my main phase. Would have saved myself another 3 damage. Yeah, I'll just let it happen. I do feel like I need to be really frugal with my removal spells, especially if they're ones hitting a recurable creature like Scrap Heap Scrounger. I really don't have that much card advantage in my deck. I also don't have any life gain, though, and my opponent does have burn. So my life total is a really important resource also. Oh, this is Chandra. Jeez. It's going really bad for me. So I can actually kill Chandra. And because I can kill her this turn, I probably should. So that was mostly a clean 1-for-1 on my opponent's Chandra, but also cost me quite a few Thermo-Alchemist triggers. But in terms of just raw cards, it was just the Collective Defiance for Chandra, so I can accept that. Currently, my Bedlam Reveler costs 6 mana, so if I can draw 1 land, I can actually cast it, which is pretty sweet. That's a little interesting. Wow, that's actually great for me. It's only instant or sorcery. I wonder what my opponent has going on here. So in this case, it might actually be worth it if my opponent plays a creature, activates the Smuggler's Copter, and attacks my Chandra. It might actually be in my interest to discard this Bedlam Reveler to my Lightning Axe. to keep my Chandra alive. Although my Chandra's not going to die. So... Opponent will get the loot. And yeah, I think I just want to kill this thing. I'm a little annoyed though that I'm going to be losing this Bedlam Reveler because it is just a really powerful card. And my opponent might just be flooding out. Another land. Another Chandra. Another Chandra. So here I think my opponent probably needs to... No, he's not. Huh. So... Probably want to go after my opponent's Chandra. Not looking good for my Chandra. I really wish I had that Bedlam Reveler. Do not have a Galvanic Bombardment. So... that would knock her to 2, and my Alchemist would be able to knock her to 1. It's not particularly exciting. My opponent doesn't have a removal spell, though. So maybe there's a way that my Alchemist can just block this Inventor's Apprentice. That would be nice. I don't really want to play this Spirebluff Canal because if I draw a Collective Defiance, I can, discard it away for a redraw, which would be quite nice. So this means that I will be able to kill my opponent's Chandra, so long as my opponent can't actually kill my Chandra this turn. That would be very good. And if that ends up being the case, if this Thermo-Alchemist is able to hold off this Inventor's Apprentice while attacking my opponent's Chandra, that's pretty powerful from this 2-drop. That's pretty cool. So that'll make it so that this Inventor's Apprentice is not only big, but... oh, actually, he still can't kill my Chandra, because if he sacrifices the Thopter to make the Thermo-Alchemist unblockable, the Inventor's Apprentice will shrink. So that's pretty cool. So I will be able to kill the Chandra. And what else do I want to do? Well, let's see. What do we got? And I could play the new Chandra, but that doesn't actually do a whole lot for me. I mean, I can play it, kill this Pia, but then my opponent gets Scrap Heap Scrounger back, and he's only got 1 Chandra to kill. So I think I'm actually going to play this land just so that I could potentially play Chandra and a 2-mana spell next turn. pretty close. Definitely a much closer game than game 1. Game 1 was a slaughter. I had a good hand too. Like if I was against the green-black deck last game, I would have been all set. But this red-blue deck is kind of like the all-in deck that's not very good against other all-ins. And I'm pretty happy that this game so far has played out in a way where the Scrapheap Scrounger that I killed on turn 2 has not actually resulted in anything. So if they're all going after Chandra, there's really no reason to block whatsoever. It's possible my opponent just has nothing. So do I want to save this Chandra? I might just want to save it. If I play it, my opponent can just kill it. But if I play it when I have a 2-mana removal spell, I like do a lot more. Got a little bit of life to play with, not a lot, but I can certainly hold off on the Chandra for 1 turn. Oh, that's bad. It's really bad for me. Sets me way farther behind in the race. Now this game looks a lot worse. Way, way worse. And now because I'm at 5, I have to kill something. Otherwise I'm dead. So if I go after the Thopter, then there's nothing in the graveyard. And my Thermo-Alchemist can block either. Yeah, I think I actually go after the Thopter. Even though that is kind of crazy. And now hopefully I can't die. I like going after the Thopter for a couple reasons. It's the only creature I can't block. It can get pumped up by fire breathing, so it's the most powerful attacker. If he has no artifact, it shuts off unlicensed disintegration. Apparently I'm just dead. Well, man, I really wanted to win. Alright, next game. Oh well. Does he attack my Chandra? Even if he attacks my Chandra, I'm just drawing dead. Yeah, I'm dead. Alright, next match.